When you make first cold outreach to an investor, it's tempting to send a full pitch deck. Don't do it. I interviewed dozens of investors and found out why they reject 92% of all cold pitches. I'm going to help you fix this in 2 simple steps. And these 2 steps are going to 10x your chances of being in the successful 8% who get a meeting with an investor. So let's dive into it. Before we look at what you're going to send, well, let's ask, what's the biggest reason why investors reject so many startups in the first seconds of reading their cold outreach? The answer is in the number of pitches that investors see. Take Peak Capital here in Amsterdam, a VC with around 8 people working there. As a group, they see over 12,000 pitches every year, through email, LinkedIn, contact forms on their website, and from those 12,000, they take around 1,000 first meetings, either online or face-to-face. That's a 92% drop-off. Why? Well, they tell me. Imagine, David, you're opening the 27th message of the day. It's not even lunchtime. You open it up, there's a great long message, and there's a 23-slide attachment. Are you going to read it? And they tell me honestly, yeah, I just don't have time to assess whether this long message has got any value in it. Delete, next. The problem we need to overcome to get into that 8% who do get a meeting is too much information. Now, the next thing investors told me is kind of shocking but helpful at the same time. They said, yeah, sure, I realize I might miss opportunities, but this is real life. If I can't scan the attachment in less than a minute, then it goes all in the bin. So there we have it. The investors just gave you the answer to getting into the successful 8%. The message needs to be short and the attachment needs to be scannable in 1 minute. So how do you tell about your startup that makes sure that they read it? Step 1, the message. I personally like Guy Kawasaki's 5-sentence email format, and I've asked investors whether this would be a good format to receive emails from startups, and they said yes, this would really work. Now here's the background. Guy said years ago that he had over 600 emails in his inbox. He'd read them all, he just hadn't answered them. Why? Because the messages were too long. And he said, a long email requires a long answer, and I just don't have time to give long answers to emails. So he came up with the 5-sentence email. Who are you? What do you want? Why are you asking me? Why should I do what you're asking? And what's the next step? Let's take each of those sentences. Who are you? Here, tell about your startup in 1 sentence and make sure you focus on value. Not, we built a parking app, but rather, we help drivers find a parking space in less than half the usual time in major cities around the world. Second sentence, what do you want? Cash, right? But in fact, what we really want from this cold outreach is simply a meeting. And to get that meeting, they need to read the attachment and feel the value for them. So ask them directly. Would you read the attached document? It'll take you less than 1 minute. And would you meet us to discuss investment opportunities? Third sentence is answering the question, why are you asking me? Here, you can connect their investment strategy. Don't just tell what you want, tell how you fit their portfolio, how you match their interests. Here comes the critical 4th sentence. Why should I do what you're asking me? Tell them something about what's happening in your company that means now is the time to jump on board. You've just signed your biggest customer and ready to scale. You won Competition X last week. Your app's just reached 10K users. You're ready to capitalize on growth. Now is the time. Make them feel something amazing is happening. Classic FOMO. And 5, what's the next step? Keep it simple. Propose an online or face-to-face meeting sometime within the next 2 weeks. Would that work for you? I wrote a book called Blue Moon Pitch, and there I explain the 5-sentence email and I give you an example of one. I'll put the link below the video and you can get the PDF. Okay, with this message, you'll have a much bigger chance that they'll open the attachment. But if you attach a full deck jammed with details, no go. They won't read it. Remember, the investor said we need to be able to scan it in 1 minute. Now, you could shrink your deck down to 5 or 6 slides, but my suggestion is to make a 1-pager. This way, they get the essentials in 1 A4 PDF. Easy to read, easy to share with colleagues. But how do you make a good 1-pager? Simple. You take a successful one and use it as a framework to create your own. This one's from 24 Sessions. they exited to MessageBird in a sale a few years ago. Let's run through it. They tell the problem and the solution, 3 lines on each. They share some logos of companies that they've either sold to or are in conversation with, and share a few facts and figures. Then they give a visual overview of the product and a few benefits. Finally, they show the founding team and contact details. And that's it. Now, once again, I asked investors, would you like to receive this format? And they said, please, please tell your clients this is the way we want to receive cold outreach. Short message, 1-pager. Perfect. So you know what to do, right? Oh, and I put 5 examples of 1-pagers for you in the links below. Once you get past this stage, you'll get a first meeting. Now, remember, I told you they see 12,000 pitches every year, and from that, they take 1,000 meetings, 92% drop off. Well, from those 1,000 meetings, they take 80 second meetings. That's, coincidentally, another 92% drop off. How to get into the successful 8%? Well, watch this video and it will help you with structuring your first pitch meeting and tell you what to put in the first 2 minutes of your pitch. And this will massively increase your chances of getting that crucial second meeting. For now, work out your 5-sentence email, get your 1-pager done, and use the links below to help you out along the way. And let's get on to the next stage of raising money.